The James Show Podcast.
My next question is, I want to ask if you've gone through what this lady's gone through in this viral video I'm about to play for you. Because this hasn't really happened to me, but I've heard this happen, and it's almost exclusively my female friends. Ladies, if you're listening right now, have you had friends going all the way back to high school, going all the way back to college, friends that stood in your wedding, write you off over politics? Listen to this.
Enjoy your cult. That is the final line of the message that I got last week from my college best friend, the maid of honor in my wedding. And I don't know if she was referring to the MAGA cult, which I'm apparently in primarily because I want our country to be great again.
Did you hear this? The maid of honor in her wedding. At one point, these were bestest friends, and not like in a light and transient cause, but like, we're going to be bestest friends forever. You can be the maid of honor at my wedding. Oh, I would love to.
Or just the Christian cult where I believe what's said in the Bible and I don't believe what the culture says to us. I think that's the hardest part of being a more conservative leaning content creator is when people make really bold assumptions about you without really knowing your true character. I mean, this was apparently my best friend, but then again, she never once reached out during Matt's deployment. The only time she reached out was when I said something negative about Taylor Swift. Or when I said that people shouldn't go to mediums according to the Bible because it's communicating with demons. She got really mad about that. And you can get upset with what I say, but the thing that really gets me is like this party of inclusion and tolerance that we always hear about. Yet they will intentionally say hurtful things to get under your skin.
I'm tired of hearing these stories. It's the same sort of just avalanche, this tsunami of constant anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, anti-American hatred. It's the same motivation that cost this goober his life at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend, and that caused this lady to lose her best friend and the maid of honor for her wedding. I don't know if this happens in reverse. Is there anyone on Team Blue who's lost friends for opposing Trump? Did the maid of honor at your wedding stop talking to you because you're anti-Trump? Is this all going one way too? Because I don't think it is. Team Blue thinks Team Red is racist, sexist, bigot, homophobes, or too stupid to know the difference. Team Red thinks Team Blue should stop listening to the TV. You're well-intended people who are being misled by the same siren song that has sank every other empire and culture before. Have you lost your best friend over Trump? JP in Wiley, you're on WBAP.
Hey, James. So, I'm not sure that I agree with you on the which is worse because, your family is supposed to be the closest. I know you got pheromones you say that reject them, and apparently I do. I didn't even know I'd heard what Trump derangement syndrome, but I didn't know really that it was a real thing until, he gets in office and I mentioned even his name. I can't even say his name around my sisters, my niece. I can't even tell you what she said to me over Christmas. Talking about not just having his face, but his male organs posted all over my car and in front of my mom. It's crazy the thing that they can say. So it's a real thing. I wonder if the American Health Association or the American Psychiatric Association has that listed as a mental health disorder.
Well, the first derangement syndrome wasn't Trump. The first one I remember, we used the term Bush derangement syndrome back from 2001 to 2009. And boy, it was every bit as bad as Trump derangement system. Now, they will go back and tell you it's not, or it was so different, or I wish we had someone who was as sane as Bush. I mean, as much as I didn't like him, he's way better than Trump, or as much as I didn't like Reagan, he's way better than Trump. No, they were saying the same thing about all Republican presidents our entire lifetime. The question I have, JP, is why is all of a sudden now it turning these people violent? Social media?
They've lost their minds.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're right. The polarization of social media, and really I guess the question we have to ask ourselves, James, is who stands most to gain by it, right? I mean, when you hear these stories and you have this agenda pushed, who's behind it? Why are they driving us to be so divided and so polarized? I mean, but, I'm a veteran, and so I think that really speaks for itself. When we said I'm going to come down on, I mean, I don't know, maybe 75% of us anyway. and God forbid we sing the national anthem along with our hockey players winning the gold medal. How great was that?
Yeah. All right. Good stuff, JP. I appreciate it, sir. Let's go down to Ed in Blanket. There's a place called Blanket. What's up, Ed? You're on WBAP.
Yeah, sure. I help with the volunteer fire department here in Blanket. We just fought a brush fire. We're in Brown County, sir, about 3 hours out of Fort Worth.
Okay.
I was going to say, it dawned on me that I have 3 very close friends from college and a first cousin, and they hate Trump with a purple passion. It dawned on me that they're all in their 60s and 70s, and they think it's still the party. They're ultra-liberal Democratic Socialist Party. They think it's still the party of John F. Kennedy and George Wallace and Hubert Humphrey, and they won't come into reality. But I've been able to sway my nephews and nieces that are, and my young daughter, Generation Zers and millennials. So I think I cut them a little slack, and I just refuse to ruin a 40-year friendship, so we just decide not to argue about it.
I cut my liberal friends all the slack in the world because exactly what you said. There ain't no politics that's more important than some of my best friends. But I have a lot of hope for younger people who are saying crazy things and believe in crazy politics and going off the deep end about Trump. But if you're 70 and you're still like a rabid anti-Trumper, there's probably no hope for you. It's probably too late for you to get help.
Exactly. And that's why they had to get rid of Charlie Kirk. He was getting too many young people coming our direction.
Well, they've kind of accelerated that process. This next generation, man, Generation Z, they seem pretty cool, Ed.
Yes, they are. They're very cool, and thank God for them. And, yeah, these poor senile 70-year-old friends and cousins, they're living in a time warp. They think FDR is still their president.
That's hilarious. FDR. Oh, yeah, the guy that did internment camps for minority immigrants and the guy that put a Klan member on the Supreme Court. What a great guy. Yeah, that's a good hero to have, people. Anthony and McKinney, you're next up on WBAP. Have you lost any friends for Trump?
No, I don't have any liberal nutty friends.
Well, that's a certain shortcut. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, it's a mindset. I mean, they're emotional. They have no logical thinking. And seriously, I don't want friends like that. I have nothing in common with friends like that. So it just blows me away when you talk about having all these liberal friends. I'm like, what ties you to them if they're so emotional, so illogical?
I don't know. I am in a terrible position where I work in a business that you think talk radio is, extremely right wing. You must be surrounded by right wingers. No, I'm in a very small subset of radio, which is a subset of broadcasting, which is a subset of showbiz. So I'm surrounded with the same sort of Hollywood type theater kids that you see in TV and you see in movies and whatnot. So I'm completely surrounded in that facet. You look at my extracurricular activities. I love playing music, and musicians aren't really known for being an incredibly right-wing bunch. I've had to live in major cities for most of my career just because that's what radio dictates. So when you live in downtown Dallas, you're surrounded by blue people. Heck, when I lived in Addison, there was a lot of blue people up there. When I lived in New Orleans for over a decade, totally surrounded by blue people in New Orleans proper. So it's been my proximity. It hasn't been any kind of attempt on my part to make liberal friends. A lot of my friends from high school ended up liberal. A lot of my friends from college ended up liberal. A lot of friends, liberal. So I don't know how you end up with no liberal friends, but that's a gift most of us don't get to appreciate. Anthony.
Well, I have acquaintances, but I don't have friends. I categorize the two totally different. I have just a handful of really friends, but I have many acquaintances. But I just don't have that much to it. Now, I live in Mount Pleasant, but I'm traveling through McKinney. So I'm just the opposite of you. I'm in the bastion of MAGA. I mean, everybody just loves Trump. So
I know Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant, y'all were in my district in high school. And I remember, your old stadium was right by the Pilgrim's Pride plant, and if it wasn't an especially windy day, we had to play over just a fog of chicken processing. And it wasn't that bad, actually. I was like, this is making me hungry. The kids next to me are throwing up, but I grew up on a farm. I'm like, oh, I know what this smell is. This is dinner.
What was your high school?
I don't like to say, sir.
Oh.
Here, hang on.
You were in the same district?
Yeah, hang on. I'll put you on hold, and I'll tell you on the break. I say it every once in a while on the air if it just naturally comes up. But I'll tell you on the break in a second, Anthony. All right, coming up next, let's continue this. Have you lost friends over politics? Because it's the same sort of mindset that's causing all the violence, that's causing the people to chase around ICE. They think they're literally fighting Hitler. This idiot that just got himself killed at Mar-a-Lago, he thinks he's literally trying to assassinate Hitler. We have groomed a bunch of people with sensational rhetoric to believing an absurd thing, which is causing them to commit atrocities. And on the micro level, that was your friendship that it cost. Russell in Decatur, you're on WBAP.
How's it going, sir?
Fantastic. Go ahead, Russell.
All right. I'm kind of in the same boat as you are. I've got a bunch of friends that don't necessarily support Trump, and I could go. I'm not really one to care for politics, but I have had a couple that I've lost due to Trump. One of them went on an entire crazy rant about how they want to leave the country. They want to go somewhere else and take their family with them. And, I didn't necessarily have a response because, well, what else are you going to say to that? And in my opinion, while America, we could be doing a lot better, we are still one of the better countries to be in, So, like, what other options do you have?
God, Russell, I am so good at that game when I'm sober, but if I'm out hanging out in a social setting and I'm about 6 drinks deep, which happens every once in a while, not nearly as much as it used to because I'm old and I get hangovers now. But drunk James will be like, well, get on a plane, smartass. What's stopping you? That's my response, because I secretly deep down inside, I enjoy it when people say that because I know they're full of it. So if they're full of it, I don't get offended like, I can't believe they're lying to me anymore. I get it's like, oh, look, they're doing this whole play. They're doing a show for us to demonstrate how good and empathetic and one of the good guys they are. And so since I know it's a facade, I find great joy in sort of piercing that bubble. Like, well, America's just racist, systemic racist. Really? Where are blacks doing better on planet Earth? And just ask them the most basic, obvious questions and then watch them do their mental gymnastics. And it will always end up with me being what? Hitler. Yeah, Hitler. Yeah, I'm a racist. I'm Hitler, sexist, bigot, whatever. I actually enjoy it too much. I'm not good in certain situations. I can keep my mouth shut when I'm sober, but drunk James has too much fun with those people. Oh, this is a terrible country. It's just so awful to be here. Oh yeah, yeah. Is anyone making rafts of trash to try and float from Florida to Cuba? Dwayne in Irving, you're on WBAP. Hey, Dwayne.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm afraid this is real, man. I had a friend. We've been friends since 2000 period. We've been friends over 24 years.
Whoa.
I brought him into the Republican Party. I voted Republican since I was first to vote 18. 2016, I didn't vote. 2020, I didn't vote. 2024, he starts sending me all this MAGA stuff. And I'm like, bro, don't send me that. Don't send me that. Don't send me that. Thought I was playing. Had to block him on phone, block him on social media. I'm like, if you want to support people, if you want to support Trump, just don't tell me. But he thought it was good to tell me. So
you blocked him?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm asking for stories of how have you been rejected by people over your politics?
And that's why I like I said.
Well, that's interesting.
I brought him into the Republican Party. And he wanted to be a Trumper, and I didn't understand why. And so, I'm like, bro, we have to part ways. There's no way we can be friends.
Well, this is interesting. Dwayne, do you still consider yourself a Republican?
Yes, very much so.
But are you pro-Trump?
No.
Okay, so are you a never Trumper, or are you just like, I'm a Republican, I'm just not enthusiastic about Trump?
I'm a never Trumper. I like I said, I voted McCain. I even voted Quayle. I'm a diehard Republican. I feel I am.
Okay. Did Dan Quayle run?
Yeah, he tried to.
I mean, he was like a vice presidential candidate. Was he like on?
I said he tried to. Yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean, whoever's going to have Republican ticket, I voted for until 2016.
So that's interesting, Dwayne. Because what is there any examples of the opposite? Do you think there's a lot of Republican friends who have cut off their Democrat friends for posting too much anti-Trump stuff?
The Republicans I know, I'm African American, first of all.
We can tell.
Because I do know, they draw the line there. They draw the line. They're like, hey, when we get a new Republican, we're back on. You know?
I hear you. Yeah, I know some of those guys. You're not the only one. All right, well, that was interesting. Thank you very much. This is Dwayne in Irving.
The James Show Podcast.